Hey, awesome pre-calc. All right, so this video is a continuation of our last example. Okay, so let me just give you a recap. So last example was example 4, and it has like A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, pretty much like the whole alphabet soup, right? So this one, well, the last video had giving you the original parent function as a log function. Now this time it's gonna give you as an expo function, and it's asking for the same thing. And yes, you should be able to do pretty much all of it, okay? So this is a review, okay? So it's giving you f of x equals e to the x minus 2 plus 3. And its first thing is that, hey, give me the domain. And as you already know, the domain of all exponential functions, the domain is always going to be what? All real. Okay, so that again, the domain of all expo is always going to be all real. Then part B said, hey, graph the f of x for us. So we're going to start with the parent function. And yes, you are not asked to do the parent anymore, but I still do it because some of you just are not going to be able to see how I get the final 3 points, okay? So you're required to use these. When x is 0, e to the 0 is always 1. When x is negative 1, is 1 over e. When x is 1, it's going to be e. Then just going to write, hey, you know what? This is going to be e to the x minus 2. That's a translation to the right by 2. That means I'm going to add 2 to x and y stays the same. And then y equals e to the x minus 2. We talked about that already. This is plus 3. This plus 3 means I will now have to add 3 to the y because it's moving up, okay? So this is my final, algebraic equation I'm going to use, and then so that way I can write my final 3 points, okay? So with all the x's, I would add 2. With all the y's, I would add 3. So 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 plus 3 is 4. Negative 1 plus 2 is now positive 1. 1 over e plus 3 is now just 3 and 1 over e, okay? Leave it as, when you're writing it as a point, just leave it as exact form. Don't give me as a rounded answer. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. E plus 3 is just e plus 3, okay? Or 3 plus e. So don't put those together because e is not a fraction. So now that I have that, now remember, this is also going to the right by 2 and up by 3. Because we went up by 3, you will have an asymptote now as well. As y equals 3. Okay. All right, let me make it fat so I can plot these dots easier. Okay, 2, go up 4. 1, 3, and 1 over e. 1, comma, 3, 1e, what that means about a third. 3, e is 2.7. 2.7 plus 3 is about 5.7. So 3, 4, 5, 5.7-ish is right there. So this is your f of x, okay? Graph f of x. Now, you have to be clear on the points. I want you to write the points down. These are the points here for full credit. Because later, I will need to use those points to find the inverse, okay? So A and B are done. What was C? I forgot. C was asking for domain and asymptote, and D was to find an inverse equation, okay? So C was asking, so we're gonna look for the range, and then asymptote, if any, which we do. The range looks like it's gonna be y is bigger than 3, and asymptote is going to be y at 3. See the common theme, right? Then D says, hey, give me the inverse function. That means you're gonna switch x and y for x. So x equals 3 to the y minus 2 plus 3. We're going to solve for y by moving the 3. So now we have x minus 3 equals e to the y minus 2. Now, I'm going to write this down, okay? Is it okay to do this? Is that okay to do that? The answer is no, okay? No, 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 no. Because this 2 belongs to the y. So then what you did there was you adding the 2 to the x minus 3. So that's not okay. So now that the exponent, it's all by itself, your next step is to rewrite it as a log form. Because this is base e, you're going to rewrite it as a natural log form. So you can write it two ways, okay? You can go in and right away rewrite it. So we're going to go, or you can go like this, ln. You're going to input an ln to both sides like this. Yes, this is legal, okay? Or you write it as a natural log form. So this is base e. So what does that mean? Log base e of x minus 3 equals y minus 2. Now I'm going to show you both ways and they're both going to be okay. This one, log base e, is now natural log of x minus 3 equal to y minus 2. Now the orange way, okay, ln of e, okay, that is always 1. So in theory, I'm going to copy this down, and this is an exponent, and in log, exponent become a multiplication, okay, of 1. So as you can see, whether you write it as a log straight up, or you go in and compose both sides by natural log, both forms will still give you the same results here. So now you just have to solve for y, okay? I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So y equals natural log of x minus 3 plus 2 on the outside. Can I go and do this? Y equals natural log of x minus 1. Is that okay to do? No, it's not okay to do, okay? You have an x plus 3, that's a plus 3 is going to go to the right by 3, and plus 2 at the end tells me that you're going to go up. So translation to the right is not the same as translation up and down. So I'm going to use my inverse notation so my teacher knows that this is my final answer. Okay, final answer of the inverse. All right, so that was your part D. What was part E? E was asking for, what was E? So D was find the inverse, domain or range of the inverse, and F was graphing. Okay, not too bad. So next, that was DE, domain of F inverse and range of F inverse. What I do is I'm going to look for the domain of regular and then just fill it in, okay? So the domain of the regular is all real, so that means that's my range. The range of regular is y is bigger than 3. That means the range of this is bigger than 3. I will also look at my point on my regular function to do f. This is my graphing, okay? So I'm going to switch x and y for x. Are you ready? Okay. It used to be 2, 4. It's now 4, 2. It used to be 1, 3 and 1 over e. So now I just have 3 and 1 over e, 1. E plus 3, 3. I used to have an asymptote y equals 3. Now my asymptote is going to be x equals 3. Okay. So here we go. 4, 2, 3 and 1/3 ish, 1. 3 plus e, that's about 5.7 ish. So 4, 5, 5.7, up 3. So those are my 3 dots. Hug the asymptote. Do not use a calculator because most likely these ones would not be in your calc. Okay, so that class is the entire problem all in one. Okay, all right, now last example in example 4, last part. And again, it's asking for domain again, and this is an exponential, therefore the domain is going to be all real. In part B, graphing, so we're going to go over here. We're going to start with the parent because I always want my 3 points. It's easy for me to start with the 3 points. So the 3 points are going to be 0, 1. When x is 1, I will have 3. Because e to the 1 is, I want to erase. All right, and then when x is -1, I should have 1 over 3. looks like I have two transformations. So this one is y equals 3 to the 1/2 x. Okay, x divided by 2 is the same thing as 1/2 x. This is a horizontal stretch factor of 2. So I'm going to multiply all my x's by 2. And the next one is y equals 3 to the 1/2 x. You did that already, plus 5. This is an up by 5. So since I took care of x already, I'm going to go y plus 5. So this is your algebraic equation. Now I need the points. So here we go. All my x's I will multiply by 2. All my y's I would add 5. So 0 is still 0 when I multiply by 2. 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 plus 5 is 8. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. 1/3 plus 5 is now 5 and 1/3. Okay. I used to have an asymptote at where? X equals 0? Perfect. Okay. I'm not translating right or left, so I'm still going to be at x equals 0. Okay. I'm going to make something fat because that way you can see where my asymptote is. There you go. Okay. So now plot the dots. 0. Oh, sorry. You shouldn't have an asymptote as... Ooh, sorry, I'm on log still. You should have an asymptote. Y equals 0. Oh my. Alright, because the domain is all reals. Okay. There you go. Sorry about that. So 0, 6, go up 0, go to 6. 2, 8. This is 10 by 10, so it's easy for me to do that. And then negative 2. Oh, did I mess this up again? Oh my. All right. Sorry. Because we are adding 5, that means my asymptote is going up 5. I'm really not paying attention. I apologize, man. Okay, so here we go. All right. So this is y equals to 5. So because we're switching between log and asymptote, my brain is... Okay. So this is going to be negative 2 up 5 and 1/3, like that. So that's right there. Okay, so this is when I need to check, well, hey, look at this one, is the domain all real? And it is, so I know I'm on the right track. So that's why, like, when I made a mistake, I'm able to catch myself because I just have to go back on my domain and say, hey, that doesn't look like the domain's all real, okay? Part B is done. Now it says part C. Let's see what part C says again. Part C says find the range and asymptote, okay? The range is y is greater than 5, asymptote, it's y at 5, and D says find the inverse function, so we are going to switch x for y and y for x, so here we go. X equals 3 to the y divided by 2 plus 5. We're going to isolate the exponent, okay, try to get it all by itself. So this is now x minus 5 equals 3 to the 1/2 x. I'm sorry, 1/2 y, or you can write y divided by 2, no big deal. Now that the exponent's all by itself, okay, you can write it as a log form, okay? So log base 3 of x minus 5 equals 1/2 y. And have to get rid of the y, so multiply this by 2. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. So y equals 2 times log base 3 of x minus 5. And yes, leave the multiplication of 2 in the front. So I'm going to use my inverse notation. So that way, my teacher knows for sure that this is my final answer, which is the inverse, okay? Part E says, hey, give me the domain and range of the inverse and range of inverse, okay? Domain and range of the inverse. I'm going to go look at my domain and range of regular. Domain of the regular is all real. That means the range of inverse is all real. Range of regular is greater than 5. That means domain of inverse is greater than 5, right? Easy peasy. Now I'm going to see if I can graph the inverse out. what I need to do is I need to switch my x and y for x. I already have the points listed right there. So 6, 0, 8, 2, 5 1/3, -2. I used to have a y equals 5. Now x should be 5. It's my asymptote. All right, 6, 0, 8, 2, 5 1/3, -2. Plot those dots, connect them, try not to touch asymptotes, and that's how it's supposed to be. All right, this is the end of example 4.